Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley, California, the Science and Technology Channel, bringing you fascinating things we think are fascinating.
We do.
And if you're watching this, you probably think it's fascinating too. Blocking mobile internet for 2 weeks can enhance mental health, boost well-being, and improve attention spans. What? You're probably watching us right now on your phone, right? According to the Pew Research Center, 91% of Americans now own a cell phone with internet access, a significant increase from just one-third in 2011. Another study reports that on average, people spend 5 hours and 16 minutes per day looking at their screens. You can check that out on your phone, the screen time.
Right.
This surge in smartphone use has fueled growing concerns about its psychological impact. A 2022 Gallup poll found that 58% of American smartphone users, including 80% of those under 30, worry they spend too much time in their devices. Would you like to know more?
I'm going to sneeze. New research by Adrian Ward, Associate Professor of Marketing at Texas McCombs, validates those worries and suggests a remedy. In a controlled experiment, he found that just 2 weeks of blocking mobile internet from smartphones improved 3 dimensions of psychological functioning: mental health, subjective well-being, and attention span.
Well, that's cool.
Oh boy. Oh, my wife's not listening to this. Quote, smartphones have drastically changed our lives and behaviors over the past 15 years, but our basic human psychology remains the same. That's according to Ward. On with the quote. Our big question was, are we adapted to deal with constant connection to everything all the time? The data suggests that we are not. And I get that. I mean, we're like instant gratification now, right? I mean, we need the information now.
Yeah,
nobody wants to wait.
If we were
no more 11 o'clock news. Remember back in the day.
If we were intended to do this all the time, we'd be born with a smartphone in our hand, right? Am I right?
Well, now you don't even have to have it in your hand, right? You got it in your, like people used to wear. You wear a iWatch, right?
Yeah, I got the iWatch.
Yeah, so you don't even have to carry it around with you.
Ward conducted the study with an interdisciplinary team of experts in psychology, psychiatry, and consumer behavior, including Noah Costello of the University of Alberta, Kostadin Kushlev of Georgetown University, Michael Easterman of Boston University, and Peter Reiner of the University of British Columbia.
The researchers conducted a 4-week randomized controlled trial in which 467 participants, average age 32, were asked to install an app on their smartphones.
I'm surprised they found 467 to do this 2-week deal.
Yeah, an average age of 32. I mean, that lets me out. So I'm sure they didn't have anybody one.
Average, yeah.
Yeah,
a 1-year-old wouldn't be there.
Right. The app blocked all internet access, including browsers and social media, only allowing calls and text messages. Participants could still access the internet through computers at home, work, and school, but they were no longer consistently connected to the online world. So,
yeah, to assess the effects of the intervention over time, that's what it is, an intervention. Participants were randomly split into 2 groups. One group activated the app for the first 2 weeks and then got internet access back. The other blocked the internet during the latter 2 weeks, using both self-reported assessments and objective computer-based tests. The researchers measured participants' psychological functioning at the beginning, middle, and end of the 4 weeks.
Overall, they found that blocking mobile internet for 2 weeks led to notable improvements in mental health, subjective well-being, and sustained attention. Oh, man. 91% of participants improved on at least one of the 3 outcomes. 71% of participants reported better mental health after the internet break than before it. The average degree of improvement in symptoms of depression was larger than reported in multiple studies of the antidepressant medications. Attention spans. This is there. I'm doomed on this when my wife sees this. Attention spans improved by an amount equivalent to reversing 10 years of age-related cognitive decline.
So she's watching this and saying, "Yep,
yeah.
yep."
Taking away your phone and your iPad. The benefits of blocking mobile internet seem to increase over time. Experienced sampling data showed that people felt progressively better day by day during an intervention period.
These effects on psychological functioning can be explained by how blocking the mobile internet affected participants' daily lives, Ward says. Rather than watching more TV or movies, they, quote, increased time spent in the offline world. That's doing hobbies, talking to people face to face, or going out in nature like we are in the backyard right now.
Right.
They got
on our devices.
They got more sleep, felt more socially connected, and felt more in control of their own decisions.
For marketers, Ward says, the findings suggest a huge appetite among consumers for technologies that stimulate them and thus help them reduce their time online. For example, a company might move to a subscription-based business model so users aren't bombarded with flashy ads begging for a click. I would agree with that. I hate those.
Yeah.
Employers might offer apps to help employees become happier and more productive by cutting back their mobile internet consumption, he says.
So that's the employer blocking the internet.
Exactly.
Jamming.
Well, I mean, could you see that? Just, maybe have like a cup, because how much wasted time? I mean, we're going through this right now with Department of Government efficiency, but how much time is wasted by people clicking off of their work and going to a website or their phone or whatever? So a lot of that.
But he recommends giving workers the option of whether to buy in. In the study, only 57% of participants followed through on installing the app, and only a quarter went the full 2 weeks offline. Quote, maybe you put it to a vote, and people will choose to vote for it, says Ward. The fact that 80% of people think they use their phones too much suggests that maybe they will.
Well, that you mentioned the status that you can, or the what is it, like a graph or a time that'll tell you how long you've been on your screen or whatever. Some of those, I would never think that I'd been on my screen that long, and maybe it's just because I never shut it off, and that's why. But it's crazy. But I mean, you lived in the time before cell phones, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
it's called the 80s.
Yeah,
they were rough.
Yeah, and even when we had cell phones, they were nothing like they are now. They were just basically a phone, and they were I don't know. I mean, I remember when they first came out. My wife and I got one, and I mean, we couldn't call anybody except landlines because nobody else had one. And then it started.
You were one of the cool kids.
We were adults. We had kids at the time, so we weren't that young. So, but yeah, it's just. I remember those days, and I mean, we got along without them. It's now if you freak out if you don't have your cell phone right by your side, or you can't instantly communicate. So, I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I don't know. There's, again, opposition in all things, right? There's some good things and definitely some bad things. So obviously this touches on some of the more negative things. So it's good.
I remember my first cell phone. I was a senior in college, working full time, and I was just about to graduate. So we got that cell phone. It was a big, long rectangle with an antenna, and I put it in my back pocket just in case that was on my resume. So I get a call, I get it right there, and I could, respond to it.
Yeah,
my first cell phone.
Yeah, we had a Motorola flip phone, and it was pretty good sized. I mean, it was much bigger than the flip phones today. I mean, it was fatter and had a big old battery on it, and the battery didn't, hold charge very well. And I remember some friends of ours
pull the antenna up.
Some friends of ours took an old dial up or a push button phone, and they put it in the console of their car. It wasn't hooked up to anything, but they would always play.
That's
anyway.
Funny.
Yeah, we were a crazy bunch.
All right, folks. Well, you want to get happier and more mental acuity, cut your internet time from your phone by 2 weeks.
Yeah, and let us know how that goes. Yeah, especially when your wife tries to call you, you don't have it, and she can't get a hold of you. And let's see how that goes.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you later.
Take care, everyone.